This conference will now be recorded.
Well, in the last class, we discussed about aggregator transformation and then sorter transformation also, right? So aggregator transformation will work same as SQL group by. Okay, so for that, inside the aggregator transformation under ports tab, we have group by ports. We have to enable the group by. So if you want to load the distinct records from the file to a table, we can use aggregator transformation. There we have to do the group by on all the ports so that it will select the distinct records and it will load only distinct records into the target table, not only distinct. So if you want to do the group by on a specific column, then also we can use aggregator transformation. And we know aggregator transformation for each and every record, it will come to the first group. From there onwards, it will scan again. If we don't want to scan from the first group, then we have to improve the performance of the aggregator transformation. For that, we have to enable the sorted input checkbox, and then we have to make sure to send the data to the aggregator in ascending order. Okay, then only it will improve the performance of the aggregator transformation. So again, if the source is a table, then we can write a order by query inside the source qualified transformation to arrange the records in ascending order. Whereas if the source is a flat file, then we cannot write a order by query inside the source qualified transformation. So for that, we can use sorter transformation. Inside the sorter transformation, we have a distinct checkbox. If we enable that distinct checkbox, then it will load only the distinct records from source to target. First, what it will do is, if we use aggregator transformation to improve the performance, we have to enable the sorted input, and then after enabling the sorted input, we have to send the data to the aggregator in ascending order. So for that, if the source is a flat file, we have to create a sorter transformation. Inside the sorter transformation, we have to select the key port. Okay, so if you so that key port, and then by default it will be set arranging the records in ascending order. So without using aggregator also, only by using the sorter transformation, just by enabling the distinct checkbox, we can also load the distinct records from file to a table. Okay, so like that we can use aggregator and sorter. Here there is one more interview question here we have. Suppose inside the aggregator transformation, we have enabled the sorted input checkbox. Inside the aggregator, let's say we have enabled the sorted input checkbox. Okay, but after enabling the sorted input, we have to send the data to the aggregator in ascending order, right? We have to send the data to the aggregator in ascending order. Suppose, let's say, if you are not sending the data to the aggregator in ascending order, you have not written an order by query, you have not used the sorter transformation, but you have enabled the sorted input checkbox. So if you enable like that, it will fail the execution. They will ask, if you enable the sorted input and if you are not sending the data to the aggregator, then what will happen? You have to say the execution will fail. Okay, because aggregator transformation, if you enable the sorted input, it will also check whatever the data coming from the source to the aggregator transformation. It will check whether that data is in sorting order or not. If it is not in a sorting order, sorting means assigning order, then it will fail the execution, it will not be succeeded. So all these things you can try while practicing this aggregator transformation. Next. Next, today we will start with another scenario, which is a standard, or we also called it as a non-reusable or reusable transformation. Okay, non-reusable or reusable transformations. So which transformation we called it as a reusable transformation, and which transformation we called it as a non-reusable transformation, that we will discuss. So till now we have created so many mappings, right? Okay, so we have created different types of transformations like expression, filter, router. Okay, look up like that. We created so many different types of transformations. Okay, fine. Now, let's say here we have a mapping one. Assume this is a mapping one. EMT, EXP, S1, T1 load. This is a mapping one. Okay, so in that mapping, I have created expression transformation. Okay, fine. Now, there is another mapping which is mapping 2. Okay, in this mapping 2, here also we have a requirement to use expression transformation. Okay, but the requirement here is I don't want to create a new expression transformation in the mapping 2. I want to copy whatever expression transformation here it is created in the mapping 1. The same copy, I want to copy the same transformation into another mapping, right? So have we copied any transformations till now from one mapping to another mapping?
No.
No, right? We have not copied. Okay, so if you want expression transformation to create in mapping 2, there we have created new expression transformation. Okay, so we have created new expression, but we have not copied. Okay, can we copy the transformation from one mapping to another mapping? Means yes, we can also copy the transformation from one mapping to another mapping. So here in this mapping, whatever expression transformation is created, this expression transformation I want to copy into the second mapping. Okay, the same transformation if you can copy into multiple mappings instead of creating a new transformation, if we copy the same transformation into multiple mappings, then such type of transformation we call it as reusable transformation. Okay, so if we copy any transformation into multiple mappings, the same transformation again and again, then such type of transformation we call it as a such type of transformation we call it as a when like if you copy the same transformation into multiple mappings, then we can call it as a reusable transformation. Okay, but till now we have not copied any transformation into till now we have not copied any transformation to the multiple mappings. Okay, so if you want expression, we have created new transformation. If you want filter, we created new filter. If you want router, we created the new filter, a new router transformation. Like that, till now, we have not copied any of the transformation into any other mapping. Okay, so whatever transformations, if you suppose, let's say if you want to create expression transformation here in the mapping, we should be under mapping designer. We go to the menu transformation. From here, we create a transformation. Okay, so if you create any transformation from the mapping designer, then that transformation we called it as a non-reusable transformation. Now here we have expression transformation created from the mapping designer. So since this expression transformation is created under mapping designer, this transformation we called it as a non-reusable transformation, because so we cannot copy this expression transformation into any other mappings. Why we cannot copy means we have created the expression transformation as a non-reusable expression transformation. That is the reason we cannot copy this expression transformation to any other mappings. Okay, suppose now I want to create a transformation which is a reusable, and I want to I want to copy the same transformation into multiple mappings. So if you want to create a reusable transformation, then we have a third tab here, transformation developer. Till now we didn't discuss about the third button, right? If you click on third button here, we will get the transformation developer. Remember, transformation developer tab is for to create reusable transformations. Okay, so in this transformation developer, we can create only transformations. Okay, so as soon as any new transformation we create here, that transformation it will become as a reusable transformation, and it will be available here under transformations folder. So left side we have transformations folder. Here we will get that transformation. Now let me create one reusable transformation. Go to the menu transformation, create. Now currently I am under transformation developer. So from here we can select So let me set sequence generator transformation. So here we have got sequence generator or SEQ or means reusable sequence generator create done. Okay, so now so here I will set the start value 1 and increment by 1 so that this sequence generator will generate the sequence values. Now you can see as soon as we create a transformation here, so the same transformation now it is available under transformation folder. Okay, so now the same transformation I can copy to the multiple mappings. So suppose let's say this is a mapping one, right? Suppose here I want to have the sequence generator. I can drag and drop from transformations folder to the mapping designer. In the same way, the same transformation I want to use in mapping 2. This is mapping 2, right? Here also, let's say we have a requirement to use the sequence generator. The same sequence, whatever sequence generator I have used in the previous mapping, same copy I want to use in the second mapping. So from here, you can drag and drop to the second mapping. Now this sequence generator, whatever I have used in the previous mapping, is it the same sequence generator or here whether I have created the new sequence generator here? Which is the sequence generator here? Is this non-reusable or reusable sequence generator? Which one we have created here now?
Reusable sequence generator.
So this is reusable because whichever the sequence generator I have used in the previous mapping, which is mapping 1, same copy I have used in the mapping 2 also, because I have created the reusable sequence generator under a transformation developer, and since it is created under transformation developer, it will be available under transformation folder. From there we can copy to the n number of mappings. Okay, so wherever you need the same sequence generator to be created, then instead of creating the new sequence generator, we can copy the reusable sequence generator from the transformations folder. Not only sequence generator, so any transformation here, if you go to the transformation developer, transformations create. Okay, so whatever the transformations are available here, all these transformations we can create as reusable transformations. Okay, so but many of the times in real time we create sequence generator as a reusable compare with other transformations. Okay, fine. We will see the scenario. In which scenario we create the sequence generator as a reusable. We'll see the scenario where we create the sequence generator as a reusable. Okay. Now I have two different sources here and one target table. We have two different sources and one target table, and what we have to do here, so we have to create a mapping to load this employee table data to this target table, and also this employee BLR data also to we have to load into the target table. As per the requirement, we have to create two different mappings, one for HYD, another one for BLR source. We have to create two different mappings here. Okay, in target table, employee number, employee name, salary will get from the source, whereas we have EID column here, which is a primary key column. Here we have to generate the sequence values. Since we have to generate the sequence values and the data is not coming from the source for this column, we have to create sequence generator transformation for this EID column. Okay, fine. So let's say I have started creating the mapping. So M1 mapping I have created. So imported the source definition and then target definition, and from the source these three columns I have connected to the target definition, and from next value to EAD I have connected, and inside the sequence generator I have set the start value 1 and increment by 1. Okay, like this, let's say I have created the mapping 1, and for this mapping I have created the session task workflow, and as soon as I start execution of this mapping, so this mapping tell me what sequence numbers it will generate for these three records. The mapping 1, what numbers we will get here?
1, 2.
1, 2, 3.
Right, so we will get 1, 2, 3 because we have three records here and we have set the start value 1 and increment by 1. That is the reason we will get 1, 2, 3. So for these three records, let's say it has generated the sequence numbers 3. Done. So first mapping, which is HYD source data loaded into the target table. Next, to load the BLR source data, we have created another mapping. Let's say M2 mapping I have created. So there the source is BLR source and the target is the same target. So here also we have a EAD column, let's say here I have created a new sequence generator transformation. Assume I have created correctly a new sequence because it's another mapping. Since it's another mapping, assume I have created new sequence generator, or we called it as a non-reusable sequence generator I have created. So if we create a new sequence generator, by default the start value will be 0, right? And increment by 1. So instead of 0, if I set the start value 1 here in the second mapping, so the second mapping sequence generator for these two records, what sequence numbers it will generate here?
1,
1 and 2.
Right. So since we have set the start value 1, and that's a non-reusable sequence generator, by default it will start from 0. If I change it to 1, then it will give the numbers like 1, 2, like this. Got it? So it will generate the sequence numbers like 1 and 2. Okay, so here like that we will get the sequence values, but there is a primary key column on the EAD column. So will it allow to insert these two records here, 1 and 2? Primary key, will it allow to insert those records? Means no, because we know if there is a primary key constraint will not allow to insert the duplicate values. Okay, and also primary key constraint will not allow to insert the null values. Here we already have one. Again, if the same one comes here, that will become a duplicate record. So it will not allow and it will fail the execution. So now our mapping 2 is going to fail because the sequence generator, again it is trying to start generating the sequence value from 1, but already 1 we have here. Due to primary key constraint it will fail the execution. So when it is failing the execution, if we create a non-reusable sequence generator transformation, okay, now assume instead of non-reusable, let's say I have created the reusable sequence generator transformation, which is under transformation developer tab. I have created the reusable transformation. In this reusable transformation, I have set the start value and end start value 1 and increment by 1. Okay, and it is available under transformation folder. From here, I have drag and drop to the first mapping. The same transformation I have drag and drop to the second mapping. Okay, this time instead of non-reusable, I have used the reusable sequence generator transformation. Okay, so if you use the reusable sequence generator transformation, now tell me first mapping, if you execute, what numbers it will generate for these three records?
1, 2,
1,
3.
2, 3.
Right, 1, 2, 3 we will get. Okay, first mapping completed. Now if I execute the second mapping, in the second mapping we have a sequence generator which is used in the previous mapping or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
It's a
is
reusable.
yeah, this is the now we have used reusable. So since it's a reusable, okay, the same transformation I have used in the previous mapping, the same transformation in the previous mapping, it has generated the sequence number still 3. Now if I execute the second mapping for these two records, this sequence generator transformation, what numbers it will generate here?
4 and
4
5.
and 5.
Exactly, right? 4, 5 it will generate. Because it's not a new transformation, it's the transformation, the same transformation which we have already used in the previous mapping. That transformation already generated till 3. So after 3, for the next record it will give 4 and then 5. Okay, again tomorrow if I start execution of the first mapping pre in the last day, that sequence generator transformation generated the numbers till 3, right, for these three records. Now tomorrow if I start execution once again the first mapping, we have three records. Tomorrow for these three records, what numbers it will generate here?
6, 7, 8.
Right, 6, 7, 8. Because the value it will take from the original. Here we have the original. Okay, so this is a original. Here we have under transformation developer. Even though in the previous run it generated till 3, today it will start from 6, not from 4, because it's these two are not a two different transformation, they are same. So we just created the copy. So that is the reason the sequence generator it will start from 6, 6, 7, 8 we will get. Now the second mapping, second day, second time if we execute, or from where we will get for these two records, 40 and 50 records,
9 and 10.
right? So we will get 9, 10. Okay. So this is how it will generate the sequence number. Now, do we have the proper sequence values or not? We do not have any duplicate records. So in such scenario, we have to use reusable sequence generator transformation. If you use non-reusable, then we will not get the proper sequence values. To get the proper sequence values, we have to create reusable sequence generator transformation. I repeat, so the same target table, if it is used in multiple mappings, and in that target table, if there is a key column to generate the sequence values, in such scenario, definitely we have to create a reusable sequence generator transformation. Okay, so if this target table is not used in two mappings. Suppose this target table is used only in one mapping. In that scenario, you no need to create a reusable. You can create a new sequence generator or a non-reusable sequence generator that will generate the sequence values. Whereas the same target table, if it is used in two different mappings like that, then if you want to get the sequence numbers like this, then definitely you have to create a reusable sequence generator transformation. Okay, so in interview they may ask like, tell me, have you created the reusable transformation? First of all, what is reusable transformation? Reusable transformation means same copy of the transformation using in multiple mappings is called reusable transformation. Okay, and then they will ask, tell me, in your project, have you ever created the reusable transformation? You can say yes, and then they will ask, tell me which transformation you have created as a reusable. You can say, in my project I have created the sequence generator as a reusable transformation. Okay, then and then they will ask, tell me why you have used a reusable sequence generator. Then you have to answer like, in my project same target table is used in multiple mappings. Okay, and that target table contains the primary key column. In that primary key column, we have to generate the sequence values. Okay, since the same target table is used in multiple mapping, if I go for non-reusable sequence generator transformation, we will not get the proper sequence values. We will get the duplicate values generated and it will fail the execution. To overcome that, I have created reusable sequence generator transformation in my project, and the same reusable transformation. Okay, from the transformation folder, I have copied to wherever the same target table is used in multiple mappings. I have copied the same transformation to the multiple mappings. Since I have copied the same transformation in multiple mappings, so we will not get the duplicate value. Suppose in the first source, if there are 3 records in that first mapping, it will generate the sequence values like 1, 2, 3. In the second mapping, same target table is used. In the second mapping source, if you have 2 records, since we have used the same copy of the reusable sequence generator transformation, it will start generating the numbers from 4. For those 2 records, it will give 4, 5. So here we have got the proper sequence number like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, instead of reusable, if I have used a non-reusable sequence generator in the second mapping, again, if we set the start value 1, it will start again generating the sequence number from 1, but we already have 1, so there may be chance to fail the execution. That is the reason in that scenario, in my project, I have created the reusable sequence generator transformation. Like that you can answer. Got it? So that's all about this reusable or non-reusable. So non-reusable transformations here inside the mapping designer directly, if you go to the menu transformation, whatever the transformations we create, those transformations we call it as a non-reusable transformation. You cannot drag and drop this expression from this mapping to the second mapping. Okay, if you want to make this as a reusable, first you have to create that transformation under transformation developer. It will be available under transformations folder. From here, you can drag and drop to a number of mappings. That's it. Okay, so that's all about this reusable or non-reusable transformation. Next. Next concept we have maplet. So what is maplet? This is also one of the important interview question, and also in real time, many of the mappings we also create maplets. Okay. So first of all, maplet is nothing but set of transformations. Inside the maplet, we will have only transformations. Okay, which is nothing but set of transformations. Okay, we'll see the scenario where we use the maplet and how to create a maplet. Will all these things practically we will see. Okay, here we have a source table. Employee emp means for maplet. I have created the source table like this with first name, last name, and address. Okay, here we have employee number, first name, last name, and address, and then this is a target table. Okay, so in target we have only 3 columns. While loading the data from source to target, by seeing easily we can say that okay, name we have in 2 different columns, whereas here name we have in only 1 column, right? Which means we have to concatenate first name and last name and load as a full name into the target. Okay, and then so we have 2 different addresses here, HYD and CNI. But while loading the data from source to target, I want to load only HYD records into the target. I don't want all the records. So for that, to concatenate first name and last name in the mapping after importing the source and target definitions, we know we have to create expression transformation. There we have to write we have to create a output port first. Inside that we have to write the concat function of first name comma last name. We know same thing we did in our expression transformation also in the beginning. Okay, so this function, it will combine the first name and last name, and this employee name will have the full name. After expression, we have here to filter, we have a single condition, address equal to HYD is a condition. To write a single condition, we can create a filter transformation. There we have to write a condition like address equal to HYD. For whichever the records address is HYD, only those records will be loaded into the target table. Got it? Okay, so like this here in between source and the target, so we have created expression. There we have written a concat function, and we have created filter transformation. There we have written a condition address equal to HYD, right? This is what we have to do in a mapping to load the data into the target table as expected. Okay, fine. In the same project, we have another source and target table. This is student source. Let's say this is student table. Student MP means maplet source. Okay, so here we have a student number, student first name, student last name, address. And target, if you observe here also, we have to concatenate first name, last name, student first name, student last name, and load as a full name into the target. And here also we have different address records are there, but we have to load only address equal to HYD records. Okay, so the second scenario, we have a student table. While loading the data from source to target, student first name, last name, we have to concatenate and load as a full name into the target. And we also have to load address equal to HYD records into the target. In the second scenario, even though the source and target tables are different, in between source and target definitions in the mapping, tell me whatever expression filter we have created in the previous mapping, in the second mapping also, do we have to create the expression and filter with the same logic or not? Or do we have to create any other new transformation apart from these 2 transformations in the second mapping? Which transformations we have to create in the second mapping for the student source and target?
HYD.
Expression transformation and filter transformation with the
Right?
same conditions.
Exactly. So in the second scenario, also we have to create expression and filter with the same condition and same function. Okay. Next, we have a third source and which is a contract employee. Contract employee source, contract employee target. We have here another source and target. Here also, if you see, we have contractor first name, contractor last name, whereas in the target we have contractor name. Okay, so which means here also we have to concatenate first name, last name, load as a full name. And then So here also we'll have the different address records, but I want to load only address equal to HYD record into the target. So in the third scenario also, even though the source and targets are different, in between source and target, so whatever transformations we have created in our previous mappings with the same logic, do we have to create in the third scenario or not? Yes, right. Here also we have to create the same set of transformations, or do we have to create any other new transformation here? No, right? Same transformations. So in a project, we have different sources, different targets. Okay, but in the for these three scenarios, we have to create three different mappings. Okay. Okay, so we have three different sources and three different targets. For all these three sources and three targets, we have to create three different mappings, right? We have to create three different mappings for this. Okay, so in all the three different mappings, whatever transformations we have to create in between source and target, they are same. In the first mapping also we have to create expression and filter. In first mapping in expression we have to write concat function, and filter we have to write a condition. Second mapping also we have to create expression, there we have to write concat function, and filter we have to write the same condition. Third mapping also we have to write the concat function, there we have to write the same condition, right? So like that we have three different sources and three different targets. Okay, but in between source and targets we have to create same set of transformations. We have to create same set of transformations. Now, instead of creating again and again the same set of transformations, what we do is we create a maplet. Inside the maplet, we create a expression and filter set, and the same maplet we will be copying into the first mapping, second mapping, third mapping. Instead of creating again and again the same set of transformations, we will be creating a maplet and we will use the maplet. Okay. So, and also one more point here, in the mapping, the same transformations here individual are a single transformation in multiple mappings. If you want to create or if you want to reuse, we created that single transformation under transformation developer, right? Okay, now here we have a requirement more than one transformation. More than one transformation means two transformations here we have here. The same set of true transformations again and again we want to reuse in multiple mappings. I repeat, if you want the single transformation, if you want to reuse in multiple mappings the same transformation, we have to create that in a transformation developer. Now we have a requirement, not a single transformation, we have two transformations with the same set of two transformations. I want to reuse the same copy of the two transformations in the second mapping, third mapping, fourth mapping, like that. There are multiple mappings I have to create, but this set, the combination of expression and filter with the same logic, I want to reuse in multiple mappings. So if you want to reuse the same set of transformations or more than one transformation set, if you want to reuse in multiple mappings, then we have to go to the fourth tab, maplet designer. So here we have to create that maplet, that set. Okay, so inside this maplet designer, we have to create that expression and filter set. Once we create a maplet, left side here we have the maplets folder. We will get the maplet inside the maplets folder, and from here we can drag and drop that expression filter set into multiple, wherever that set is required in three mappings. Everywhere, instead of creating expression and filter again and again, we can reuse the same maplet in multiple mappings. Okay, so let me show you that practically. So here we have the source table like this. Let's start from emp_yes. This is our maplet source. Here we have employee number, first name, last name, address. Then we have a maplet target. right? Here we have employee number, employee name, address, only 3 columns. Now what I am going to do here is, we'll go here. So first we have to import the source definition, target definition to create a mapping. So we have to load the data from source to target. Imported the source definition. This is T, target definition. Like that, we can import the target definition, and then mapping designer, mappings create underscore emp underscore. Here we are using maplet source to target. So like that, I have given the name to this mapping. This is a mapping. After giving the name, we know we have to drag and drop the source definition. So source is emp underscore yes. Now the targets emp underscore t. Got it till here, right? So in creating the source and target, importing the source and target. Okay, next, here in between source and target, here we have to create expression and filter transformation, because we have to use concatenate first name last name and then load as a full name, and then we have to load only address equal to HYD record. Now instead of creating expression and filter here, because I have to create 3 different mappings, in all the 3 mappings I want to use the same expression and filter. Instead of again and again creating the expression and filter in all the 3 mappings, what I will do is, I will go to the maplet designer. Here I will create a maplets create. Okay, mp underscore. So in this maplet, I'm going to create expression and filter transformation. Click on OK. I have given the name to the maplet. Once we give the name to the maplet, and the maplets folder, we have got the maplet. And before we create expression and filter here, always we have to go to the menu transformation create. So from this list, we have to select maplet input transformation. Okay, so this is mandatory whenever you have a requirement to create a maplet. First, you have to create a maplet input transformation, created, done. In the same way, again, we have to go to the menu transformation create. From this list, you have to select maplet output transformation. So maplet input and maplet output, these 2 transformations you have to create. This is mandatory. Okay, so after that, we do not have any ports here in maplet input. Open the maplet input transformation, go to the ports tab, and in our scenario here, this from source qualifier, how many we are sending to the expression? 4 ports: employee number, first name, last name, address, right? The same 4, whatever expression is going to receive. Okay, the same 4 we have to add here: employee number, first name, last name, and then we have here 3rd column name, 3rd one is address, 4th column. So like that, always manually we have to create a maplet input transformation. Manually we have to add the column names in the maplet input transformation. After that, go to the menu transformation create. We know we have to create expression transformation and filter transformation. So we'll create expression, and then we'll go to the menu transformation create, filter transformation. Like that, we create expression and filter. Maplet output you can keep at right side, and filter transformation you can keep here. Okay, so select all these ports, drag and drop to the expression transformation. Okay, and inside the expression we have to write the concat function. Before that, make sure the data type, it should be a double, and these are the strings. And then we can create a new port, employee name underscore wo, and this is also a string. Disable this one. Here you have to write the concat function, concat of. So inside that we have to write first name comma last name. This will concatenate the first name and last name. Click on OK, apply, OK. So from here we have to take the employee number, employee name, and then address. Okay, and from here we have to take to the maplet output. Open the filter, go to the properties. Here we have to write a condition. Okay, address is equal to HYD. So like that, we have to write a filter condition. Apply, okay, save. That's it. This is called maplet. This is not a mapping. This is a maplet. We are under mapping. We are under maplet designer. Okay. So whatever here we have four. All these four are the transformations. All four are the transformations: maplet input a transformation, maplet output a transformation, expression transformation, and also we have filter transform. All these are four transformations. That's the reason here, as I mentioned, maplet is a set of transformations. All these four are the set of transformations. Okay, we have to create a maplet and then save. Okay, after saving in the mapping, now here instead of creating that expression and filter, we select the maplet here, we drag and drop the maplet to the mapping designer. From maplets folder we drag and drop. Now this is called maplet. We have not written any program for this, just drag and dropping, creating, setting. Okay, so like that. So now this is a maplet. Wherever the expression and filter set is required in the second, that student, the source and target, contract employee, source and target. Now we no need to create that expression and filter because we have the same transformation with the same logics we have created in the maplet, that set, so we can use that one. Now from the source qualifier we can select all these ports connected to the maplet input. Then from maplet output select all these ports connected to the target definition. So this is how we can create a mapping by using the maplet. So inside the mapping, this is we are under mapping designer. This is a mapping. Inside the mapping we have created the maplet. This maplet internally it contains the expression and filter transformation. Okay, and then save. As soon as we save and if we start execute, so reader from the source it will read the data and it will pass to the maplet. Maplet input will receive the values and then it will pass those values to the expression. Expression will concatenate and then it will pass those records to the filter. Filter will check the condition. If it is only HYD, then it will send to the maplet output. From maplet output we have connected to the target and it will be loaded only HYD records to the target. Now for this, we will create a session workflow and then we'll execute and see the output. Okay, so now we are under here. We have to create a session task. Select that corresponding mapping. We have the mapping here. Done. And then workflows, create. Then from the sessions folder, we have to select a maplets, session, task, link a task, connect, execute. And as soon as I click on start workflow, row by row, it will send to the maplet. Maplet will send it to the expression to the filter to the target it will send. So here the execution got succeeded. So if I open this one, so we will get here count. So it has read from record from the source, all the four records it has sent it to the expression, but expression it has concatenated and then filter has filtered the condition. Based on the filter condition, it has loaded only two records. So this maplet we use only if we have a requirement, the same set of transformations with the same functions, with the same conditions again and again. If we want to recreate, in that scenario only we have to use this maplet. Okay, now first scenario is done. Now the second scenario, we have a student, right? So here we have the column name, student, first name. Whereas here, so in our maplet, we have the student, first name, we have a FNAME. Okay, whereas second source, let's say we will get the student first name, SFNAME we will get here. Okay, so if you have SFNAME student first name, whereas here we have only first name, is it going to work? We have the column names are different in the second mapping. Let's say you have created the second mapping, student source and the student target. Okay, so in that student source and the student target, okay, in the student source and the student target, the column names are different bit compare with the maplet, even though the column names are different. So it will check the data type, whether the data type is a string or not, whether it is a character type of data or a number type of data, that only it will check, doesn't matter the column names. In the second mapping, if you have student first name here, whereas here if you have first name, so the same student first name it will pass to the first name, and internally it will pass to the expression, and then filter to the maplet output. It will work fine, even though the column names are different, data type should match. Okay, so we have the same structure, right? In the student employee we have the same structure, so it will work fine while practicing. So first you have to create this with an employee table, then you create a student table, and there in the mapping, instead of creating expression filter, drag and drop the same applet which we have created in the first mapping, and you can connect like this from the student source qualifier to the maplet input and maplet output to the target definition, execute and see. You will get the full name in the employee name, and then you will get only HVD records into the target. That's how we have to use maplet. So maplet is nothing but a set of transformations. Okay, the same set if you want to reuse in multiple mappings, then we have to create a maplet. The single transformation if you want to reuse in multiple mapping, you have to create another transformation developer. Whereas more than one transformation if you want to reuse in multiple mappings, then we have to create that in a maplet designer. So that's all about this transformation developer and the maplet designer. Next. Next we have shared folder or a shortcut. What is the shared folder or a shortcut? Okay, let me open this in a paint window. Okay, fine. Now let's say we have a repository rep_dev. Okay, we all together working in a project. Okay, so we have the folder names like this: Ravi folder we have, Raju folder we have, and Ali folder. Okay, so let's say I am the team lead. I have assigned some work to Ravi to create the mappings. In the same way, I have sent email to Raju also to create few mappings. Okay, so now Ravi, what he will do? He will connect from his laptop, right? So since we all together working as a team, all three will have the access to the same repository. Okay, so Ravi has connected to the rep_dev repository from his laptop, and then he has opened the Ravi's folder, and he should have to start create the mapping. Okay, so whatever the work I have assigned it to Ravi for his mapping, the source is, let's say, emp_s, and the target is emp_t. What Ravi will do to start create with the mapping? Ravi first he should have to connect to the his folder, and then he should have to go to the source analyzer. Okay, he should have to import the source definition part first, right? He will go to the menu sources, import from database, like that he will import the source definition. After importing the source definition, okay, so he knows that the target is emp_t. He will go to the target designer. So from target designer, he will go to the menu targets, import from database, like that. For the first step to create a mapping, till now we have also followed the same thing. We imported the source definition, then we imported the target definition. After importing source and target definition, then we created the mapping, right? Okay, fine. Like that, Ravi also imported the source definition, target definition, and he started creating the mapping. Same Raju also, he started creating the mapping. Okay, let's say from last 1 week or from last 10 days, they have been creating the mapping. Okay, and it is about to complete. So everything they have developed, logics, everything they have written, and it is about to complete. And next week or tomorrow, we are moving from dev to QA repository. As I told you, we will have the development repository, QA repository, UAT repository, production repository, like that. 4 repositories will be there in real time. Okay, so we have done with the development. From last 10 days we were working on the same mapping, and then today we have completed. Okay, and tomorrow we are going to copy our mapping from development repository to the QA repository. Okay, now so suddenly a customer or client has come and he requested to add a new column in the source and target table, which is 4-number column. Okay, so he requested to add a new column in the source and target table. He wants to have the 4-number column also in the source and target tables. Okay. Now, who is going to add this new column in real time? If client has requested to add a new column, so who is going to add this new column means DBA team. There will be a separate team, DBA. DBA means database administrator team will be there. It's their responsibility to add the new column in the source and target table, or if they don't want any of the column, to drop the column, or if they want to increase the precision or decrease the precision or renaming the column, like that. If there are any table structure changes, everything can be taken care by DBA team. Okay, like that. Let's say customer has requested to the DBA to add the 4-number column in those 2 tables. Okay, let's say today they have added DBA team, they have added a new column. Okay, so now total how many columns are there in this EMP underscore yes? We have 4 columns, and EMPT also 4 columns. But Ravi imported EMPS and EMPT around 10 days back, right? So 10 days back Ravi started working. That time the source and target table contain 3 columns. So when Ravi imported source definition 10 days back, it was having 3 columns. Today, after 10 days, they have added a new column. So even though they have added a new column here, tell me today how many columns will be displayed in the Ravi's mapping?
4.
Ravi, Ravi imported when 10 days back the source definition. Okay, so if I add a new column here in the table called phone number, automatically will it get that new column here in the source or target definition? Have you ever tried? After importing the source definition, if you add a new column or if you drop the existing column, will it get reflected automatically in the source or target definition here? Any idea?
Yes, sir.
So that means you didn't try. Okay, fine, no problem. So remember, if we add a new column, I have imported the source definition or target definition. Okay. So even though if I add a new column in that source table, target table, automatically you will not get here in the source and target definition. Ravi imported 10 days back. Today also his source and target definition, even though if they have added a new column, still Ravi's mapping shows only 3 columns in the source and target definition. 4th column will not be displayed because that 4th column added at a table level, not at Informatica. It is not there in Informatica. So he imported 10 days back. That time 3 columns were there. That's the reason today also it is showing 3 columns in the mapping, but they have added a new column 4 number in the source table and the target table. So what Ravi has to do to get that new column in his mapping today? Automatically we will not get that new column, right? So what Ravi has to do to get that new column today on his mapping in the source and target definition? Any idea?
We have to add a column manually.
Okay, so there are 2 things here. First one is we can add the column manually. So we have to open this target definition, go to the columns tab. Here we have a button, add a new column, and here we have to add a phone number like this and change the data type, and then click on apply. Okay, this is how we will get that new column. Without adding the new column here like this, you will not get the new column automatically. This is one way. Okay, and the second way to get that new column is what we have to do. Again, Ravi, after they add a new column, to get that new column into his mapping, Ravi again he has to re-import that source and target definition. So again he has to re-import the same source and target definition. If he is re-import, then it will display a message saying that you can see the EMB this already exists, right? So what it will display message already exists. 10 days back he imported with the same name. Now they have added a new column. Today he is trying to re-import the same source and target definition. It is showing the message as it's already exists. So what do we have to do if it is already exists? Do we have to rename or replace? If you
Replace.
want a new column, what do we have to do to get
Replace.
that column? Replace, right? Not
Replace.
the rename. If you replace, then only it will replace the old source definition or a target definition with a new target definition, right? So now the new target definition will have that 4-number column. Got it? Okay, remember. So if there are any table structure changes means adding the new column to the existing table, dropping the column from the existing table, increasing the precision of any column, decreasing the precision of any column, such type of table structural changes happens. So to get those changes in our mapping, either we have to re-import our source definition or a target definition and replace the source and target definition. Okay, or manually we have to add the column or increase or decrease the precision under a target definition. Either of these two ways we will get those changes inside our mapping or in the source and target definition. Okay, fine. So now Ravi has re-imported the source and target definition. Now his mapping contains now the 4-number column here in the source definition or a target definition. Okay, now let's say in the source definition, we can see 4-number column. What he has to do then, the same 4-number column, we should have to give till a link from source to the target. For that, Ravi has to select the 4-number column here, drag and drop to the source qualifier, drag and drop to the next transformations, like if it is expression, filter, router, aggregator. So from source to till target, across all the mappings, you should have to drag and drop one by one to the transformation and give the link to the target, so that from the source that next time when it runs, from the source it will read the phone number also and it will load it to the target table. Like that, if there are any table structural changes, we have to re-import again in the mapping. We have to take that source definition from source to till target and we have to give the link. We have to make the changes across all the transformations. Actually, Ravi started 10 days back. Today he completed. Okay, and tomorrow we have to release this to QA repository. So suddenly he come and he asked to add a new column, right? So if he has added a new column, so at the last moment, if he has requested to add a new column, let's say we have extended our time to work and we have added a new column. Okay, so like that, not only in real time, we will have so many folders under the repository. Assume under the development repository we have 50 folders. We have 50 folders under the repository, and out of 50 folders, let's say developers, they have started working from last 10 days or from last 1 month they are working, and out of 50 folders, let's say in 30 folders this emp_se is imported around 10 days back or 1 month back. Assume we have 50 folders in our development repository. Out of 50 folders, in 30 folders 1 month back this emps and empt imported, because this source and target definitions are using around 30 folders out of 50. Now today if they have made the changes to the table, like they have added 4-number column, so how many folders we have to re-import and we have to replace out of 50? If there are any changes, in how many folders we have to re-import and replace the source and target definition to get that new column?
30 folders.
30 folders, right? So each and every folder again you have to open. Again, each and every folder you have to re-import the source definition, replace, and you have to go to the target definition, re-import the target definition, replace, and open the second folder, open the re-import the source definition, replace, and then go to the target definition, re-import, replace. So like that. So manually you have to open each and every folder and you have to re-import and replace the source and target definition. And we are talking about here EMPS and EMPT table. In real time, not only EMPS and EMPT, we will have hundreds of tables. Let's say we have 400 or 500 tables are there. So for one table, if they make any changes, we have to re-import in 30 folders. Suppose let's say today they have made the changes to 10 tables. So they in 10 tables today they have made the changes, structural changes. And those 10 tables are used in 50 folders. Then tell me how much difficult job it is, like each and every folder we already imported 10 days back. Again today they have made the structural changes in 10 tables. So we have 50 folders now here. So each and every folder I have to open the 10 table source definition, target definitions we have to re-import and replace. Like that again I have to do in 50 folders. Okay, today is the last day. Tomorrow we have to send all these to the QA repository. Today, last day they have come and they have made the changes like that. Are we going to release tomorrow to the QA repository? Last minute, if they asked us to do such type of changes in the source and target definition, not only source and target definition, as I told you, if after replacing the source and target definition, again we have to take that new column, copy across all the transformations in the mapping till target definition to give the link. So like that, last minute, if you are, is it possible to make these many changes? It is not suggestible. We cannot make last minute changes, so many changes like this. Okay, to overcome this, whenever there are table structure changes, instead of re-importing in all the 50 folders, we have a concept called here shared folder. We have a concept called shared folder. Okay, so what I will do is I will create one shared folder here. So to create a shared folder, I will open the repository manager. Okay, so here we have currently normal, all these are the normal folders. Now to create a shared folder, select the repository, go to the folders, create. Okay, I am going to create a folder name as Singtel is a, let's say that's a project name or company name, Singapore Telecommunications. For that, let's say we are working. Okay, so now I want to create one shared folder. I have given the name like this, and here there is a checkbox, allow shortcut. If you enable this checkbox and click on OK, a shared folder will be created. You can see here we have got the Singtel underscore shared with the hand symbol below to that. So that means this is a shared folder now. Okay, so in real time, so once we have the shared folder, whatever the shared folder here we have, so first before we developers start creating the mappings, Informatica admin team, so in a project if there are 500 source tables, all the 500 source tables they should have to import in the source definition. Okay, so now to reflect that shared folder, we'll just disconnect the repository so that we can also see that shared folder here. So what Informatica admin team will do is, so here we have the shared folder. Under the shared folder, we have the sources, targets, mappings, and all. Okay. So now before developer starts creating the mapping, first Informatica admin team, they should have to import the source definitions like this. All the source and target definitions, they should have to import like this, emp underscore yes. Connect. So we will be first Informatica admin team, they will be importing the source definition. Let's say I will import any of the source definition like this. Okay, cd2 underscore yes, this I mean, sorry. Okay, I have imported one source definition. Like that, Informatica admin team, before developer starts developing the project, so they will import all the source definitions into the shared sources folder, all the target definitions under shared targets folder. So like that, every project will have the shared folder like this. Okay, you can see the shared folder, right? We'll have the hand symbol below to that so that we can call it as a shared folder. Okay, fine. So like this, we have the shared folders. Okay, next. So I have asked Ravi to create few mappings and Raju to create few mappings. Ravi, what he has to do is, so before he starts creating the mapping, he should have to import the source and target definitions, right? Okay, this time Ravi will not go here and he will not import the source definition from the menu sources. Instead of importing from the menu, what Ravi will do is Ravi will look for the shared folder. Is there any shared folder inside this repository? Yes, there is a shared folder. Okay, Ravi found the shared folder and he will open the shared folder, and for his mapping he need to have the EMPS as the source and target definition. Okay, so now he will open the shared sources folder and he found the EMP underscore ES here. Currently it contains 3 columns. Okay, so Ravi, what he has to do is he should have to select the source definition from the shared folder, drag and drop to his working folder. His folder, he should have to drag and drop the source definition from shared folder to his working folder. Okay, so like that. So here, let's say this is the shared folder, right? And assume this is the Ravi's folder. Okay, what Ravi has to do, he should have to select the source definition like this from the shared folder, and he should have to drag and drop like this. This is the working folder and this is the sources folder. Now I have selected the sources folder, right? So he should have to drag and drop like this. Instead of importing the source definition from the menu, now the developers, they have to open the shared folder. From the shared folder, they have to select the source definition, drag and drop to their working. This is the working folder, which is the folder font is bold color, bold font. That is a working folder. There they should have to drag and drop. Do you want to copy? Yes. If you click on yes, a copy of the source definition will be created. Here you will have that emp underscore yes source definition. Now this we called it as a shortcut. So whatever we have drag and drop, this is not the original. Original we have here emp underscore scd yes, scd to yes. There we have the original. Here this is a shortcut. We call this as a shortcut. So we have drag and dropped from shared folder to the our working folder. Okay, so like that, Ravi also he should have to select the source definition, drag and drop, and target definition also drag and drop. Okay, let's say they have drag and drop, and the shortcuts are these are called shortcuts. Shortcut of the source definition, shortcut of the target definition. Originally they are under shared folder. Got it? So like that, they are originally under the shared folder. From there, developers they have drag and drop to their working folder. Okay, fine. So from last 10 days they are working and it is about to complete, and today they have to release. Okay, now suddenly customer has come and he asked to add a new column here, phone number. Let's say DBA team, they have added the phone number column here in the source and the target table. Both in the source and target, they have added a new column. Okay, so if they have added a new column, how this new column is going to be reflected in Ravi's folder? Okay, so for that, so Ravi should not do anything. Okay, only Informatica admin team, they will be re-importing the source and target definition in the shared sources and targets folder. I repeat, if there are any structural changes, only Informatica admin team in shared folder, they have to re-import and replace the source and target definition. As soon as they re-import and replace the source and target definition, now this source definition, let's say here we have got 4 columns, here also we have got 4 columns in the target definition. Okay, Now in the shared folder, source and target definition, we have got that new column. How that new column is going to come into the Ravi's folder? What Ravi has to do is he just have to disconnect and connect the repository. If he disconnect and connect the repository, if there are 50 folders here, out of 50 folders, let's say one folder is a shared folder, remaining 49 are the normal folders. Okay, out of 49 folders, wherever this source and target definitions are used, simply if we disconnect and connect the repository, okay, automatically the new column is going to be copied to the source and target definition wherever out of 49 folders, wherever that source and target definition is used, the new column will get copied automatically. Again, developers, we no need to re-import again in all the 50 folders. Only at one folder, which is a shared folder, if we re-import the source and target definition, okay, automatically if we disconnect and connect the repository, wherever that source and target definitions are used, this new column is going to be copied automatically. Got it? If you don't have the shared folder, then if there are any structural changes and if there are 50 folders, in all the 50 folders we have to re-import and replace. Whereas if you have the shared folder, then if there are any structural changes, only in the shared folder we have to re-import and replace. And if we disconnect and connect the repository, all the other remaining folders automatically will get that new column. So that is the advantage of using the shared folder and the shortcut. If we don't have the shared folder, every time we have to re-import and replace the source and target definition if there are any structural changes of a table. Whereas if you use the shared folder, everywhere, every time we no need to re-import in all the folders, only in the shared folder. Informatica admin team, they are going to re-import and replace the source and target definition, so that wherever that source and target definitions are used across all the transformations, automatically they are going to be reflected in all the folders. Got it? So like that, the changes will happen. And then if it is a new column they have added, okay, so in the mapping, if you just disconnect and connect the repository, that new column will get in the source and target definition. Manually, again, that new column we have to drag and drop here, and then drag and drop to the next transformation. Suppose, let's say if the existing column, if there are any structural changes, suppose let's say this first name column, currently we have the precision as 10 here. Okay, assume they have added the precision to 100. Okay, and Informatica admin team, they have re-imported the source definition into the shared folder and they have replaced. Okay, now in our source definition we have the precision as 100. Okay, but whereas across all the transformation we have 10 only. Here also we have the precision as 10. Okay, whereas in source definition we have 100, target definition we have 100, but in between source and target definition, whatever the transformations we have, there the precision is 10 only. So instead of manually changing the precision in each and every transformation, what we can do, we can just right click here and we have a propagate attributes option. If you select the propagate attributes, which one do you want to propagate? Now I have the precision to propagate. Okay, so precision you can select, so and then click on propagate button. So if you click on propagate button, from the source definition till target definition, wherever this employee name column is used across all the transformations, it will automatically change the precision from 10 to 100. Like that, for the existing columns, if there are any structural changes, we have to propagate the attributes here so that the same changes will get reflect from source to target. If it is new column, then only manually one by one transformation we have to drag and drop and give the link till target. If it is the existing column, to make the changes across all the transformations, okay, so we have to select the propagate button. That's it. So like that, we can reflect it will automatically copy the same changes whatever is there in the source definition till target definition, same structure changes it will copy in all the transformations for that employee name. So that is the advantage of shared folder and the shortcut. Okay, in real time you will find the shared folders. So from the shared folders only you have to start creating the mapping, like you have to copy the source and target definition from the shared folder and then only you have to copy them, create the mappings. You should not import the source and target definition from the menu, import from database. No, you have to look for the shared folder. If they ask you to create a mapping, you have to search, is there any shared folder? If yes, open that, search the source definition, and then drag and drop the source definition from shared folder to your folder. And the same way target definition also, you have to drag and drop from shared folder to your targets folder, and from there you have to drag and drop the source definition to the mapping and then start creating the map. That's how we have to. That's it. So that's all about the shared folder or a shortcut. We'll stop here today and then we'll continue tomorrow with some other concepts. Today we discussed about this non-reusable reusable transformation, and then maplets, and then this shared folder. That's it. Thanks. Use the same link to join tomorrow's class also.
Thank you, sir.